With Bitcoin holding strong and inflation at its lowest point in several months, we could see the potential for a perfect storm here developing for crypto. With some of the best prices we've seen this entire cycle, it could be the perfect time to build up your portfolio for some massive gains over the course of the next several months. In today's video, I'm going to cover the top 10 coins that I think are some absolute steals right now, so hit that like button and let's jump into it. Alright, today we're going to jump into the top 10 coins that I think could potentially make life-changing money over the course of the next several months if things line up the way they're looking to where we could go into a massive bull run here. So let's jump into it here. So I've showed this chart many times before. Obviously, it's not guaranteed that Bitcoin will keep following the M2 money supply, but so far it has been following it for quite a while. And if you look at the chart here, things should start picking up here towards the end of April into May and especially into June and July. And it's looking like a new all-time high, or we could hit the previous all-time high potentially here with Bitcoin towards the end of June if it follows this chart. Now, there's no guarantee of that, but so far it's been following it very well over the last year. And we have, like the M2 money supply is one of the main things that kind of drives liquidity into the markets globally. And this is the global liquidity index here. And if things play out well, we have interest rates that are actually lower than expected. Recently, interest rates are at 2.4%, so that is good for the economy. Prices are starting to come down, even though there's the scare of the tariffs. I think that people have, especially the stock market and crypto, have overreacted to the scare of the tariffs. Right now, things have settled down a little bit in the tariff market, but between China and the U.S., things are still going back and forth, and it's just a matter of, I think the way that the Trump administration looks at it is China's been taking advantage of the United States. They've been basically forcing our companies to move over there and saying, well, if you want to have cheap products created, you have to create them here in China. You have to move your companies over here and create them in China, and in return, you get the low labor costs, and it can cut down your production costs for your facilities. And China is providing cheap steel and stuff like that to United States companies, but they're also stealing a lot of our IPs. A lot of our technology has been stolen by China, and that's one of the main things about the Trump administration is they want to end this unfairness in trade between China and the U.S. and China and the rest of the world for that matter. So we'll see how this unfolds, but right now things have settled down a little bit in the market, but things could heat up again, so just kind of keep that in mind. Crypto is the most volatile space, so there's no guarantee that these coins that I'm going to talk to you about will do well, but let's jump into them here. I'm going to go from pretty much the safest coin first to the most risky coins, so keep that in mind. The ones that we get towards the end of the video here I think could have the most gains, but they also are the most riskiest coins, so they should be the smallest percent of your portfolio as well. And this is not financial advice, this is just my personal opinion, guys. Make sure that you do your own research into all these projects before you invest in anything, because anything in crypto and all of crypto really potentially could go to zero. It just depends on what happens in the markets. As you've seen over the course of the last few months here, most of the coins are down 80% or so, some of them even more. So if we had to go to the safest play here, I would say Ethereum is pretty much a safe bet. I think Ethereum could do like a 3 to 5x from here, potentially this bull run, if things take off into a bull run. I think they eventually will. It's just going to need the interest rates to get lowered and less hostility from the Trump administration towards the other countries with tariffs, stuff like that. But the Trump administration, they're very heavily invested in Ethereum. They have been selling some of their crypto recently, but I think they realize with the trade war going on, it's best for them not to, have some of their crypto in their portfolio. But BlackRock and others are heavily investing into Ethereum, with the ETH ETFs and stuff like that. They do see the potential for ETH to eventually do well with the right circumstance. They're planning on putting all kinds of things on chain with BlackRock on Ethereum, so that's another thing to keep in mind. They are building and believing in Ethereum, and so is the Trump administration. They're all very bullish on Ethereum, so I think eventually things will turn around and do well for ETH. So Solana would be another one that I would think could do pretty well. Now, a lot of people think Solana could get up to $500 to $1,000 this bull run. That is possible. It's already hit over $250. So, it is possible for that to happen, but, don't wait for some crazy numbers, especially as volatile as crypto's been. I really regret not taking out any profits in December. I thought December was just the start of things and would be taking off from there, but with the tariff wars going on, the market is completely dumped and tanked since Trump administration got in, and a lot of people got scared because of all these tariff talks, and a lot of people, get out of the riskier assets when there's any kind of scare in the markets. I think long term, these will be great buying prices for a lot lot of people currently, but I think Solana could potentially do much better from here, even if you had to hold these two long term. And the next one I'm going to get into here, these are some even that you could hold long term for more gains later on if things took a while to take off. So kind of keep that in mind. Maybe 6 months to a year or two before crypto really takes off. I think it'll happen by the end of this year, but obviously we don't know for sure. The next one I want to get into here would be Cardano. Now Cardano was up to over $1.20. It's about a 2x from here. If you would have bought it last year in October, it would have been almost half of where it's at now, around 30 some cents, but it's still a good buy. And I think Cardano will probably, in my opinion, get to $3 to $5 potentially this bull run if we get a good solid bull run and the market conditions are right. But Cardano is another asset that is built in the United States, so these are assets that are going to have really good tax benefits from the Trump administration, and there's going to be a lot of things probably likely built on Cardano in the future, and the technology is really good with them, and they're improving the speed and a lot of utility with Cardano over time. But they're doing it the right way, and Charles Hoskinson knows what he's doing. And they're all working together with the Trump administration for all these U.S. brand coins to potentially have a huge future in the United States blockchain. Another one that's probably a safer bet would be Avalanche. Now, keep in mind some of these coins could go down from here if we get more bad news in the market. So, keep that in mind. Crypto could dump at any time, but long term, I think Avalanche will do well. One that I think could have huge potential from here, and I think it's at its all-time low price of a half a cent right now, would be Supra. Supra is a great project. It's at 58 million market cap right now. It's the lowest it's been this entire cycle. It launched back in December or November. I guess November it launched. Did get all the way up to a little over like 5, almost 6 cents here, and so it's down about a 10x, about a tenth of where it was back in December. So Supra would be another good bet. I could potentially see this one potentially getting into the billions of market cap eventually once we get the right market conditions. It is a massive project and has a really massive backing behind it. Another one that a lot of people don't really know about is DeFi. I've talked about this on my channel before. I think this is a great project, and they are working with the Trump administration as well as other big investors out there in the stock market. I know Kevin O'Leary is working with the DeFi project, and him and Donald Trump Jr. spoke at the DeFi 2025 conference. So this is another sleeper. If any of those actually partner with DeFi, and let's say World Liberty Fi, the Trump crypto project, partners with DeFi, which there's a very good potential for that to happen, this one really could take off here. It's only at a 1 million market cap, which would be extremely low for any kind of project that could potentially partner with the Trump administration or Kevin O'Leary. And I would think that this one, if that were to happen, it's obviously not guaranteed, but if that were to happen, you would probably see this one hit in the hundreds of millions, if not billions of market cap. So just kind of keep that in mind there. The potential for this one to do that is there, and it's at an extremely low market cap already at 1 million market cap. So this one has potential to do some really huge gains from here, in my opinion. Another one here that's really kind of a high risk play, but it's a great project. And now a lot of people are funding this one right now because it's down like 90% over the last week. A lot of people thought that this one was a rug pull and that the team rug pulled on everyone because it dropped like 90% in just a day. But according to the team, it wasn't the team that sold any of the tokens. It was a major investor of theirs that got liquidated on an exchange. They're not sure what happened, but make sure you do some more research into this before you invest in it. But right now, it's kind of like an artificial dump on this one if that's true. If it got liquidated and it dumped the coin that much, like 90% within a day, and it wasn't a rug pull, and it seems like the team is potentially being honest about this. They've shared their wallets and had people look into this. So do some more research into this. But if you're interested in one that could potentially have some huge gains from here, Mantra, the OM token, is one of those that could potentially do that. But just like I said, keep in mind, this is kind of taking their word for what happened here. So if you're looking for an AI play, I do kind of recommend Sharp AI. This one is at 2 million market cap. I think this one will do well once AI takes off again and we're in a bull market, real bull market, not this supposed bull market that we've been in right now. Once we get in more bullish conditions, I could see Sharp AI recovering. And if it were to get up to recent all-time highs of over 10 cents, that's more than a 10x from where it's at now. And I could definitely see Sharp doing that if things recover. This is a higher risk play, to keep that in mind. You can definitely see that it has potential to do really well. And this wasn't even when the market was really hot, like a year ago back in March of 2024. Things were a lot hotter for AI back then, and the Sharp wasn't even around then. This is a new project and just came out last year after that major run we had last March. If you're looking for a gaming play, I do highly recommend guns. There's a ton of gaming plays that I've recommended on my channel. There's a lot of good ones out there, but I would think that if you're gonna invest in a gaming play right now, I would probably get some guns in my portfolio. Now, it's at 4 cents right now. There is a monthly vesting on this one where the tokens are going out to early investors at the end of the month every month, so this may have a little bit more of a dump on it over the course of the next few weeks, so kind of keep that in mind. But if market conditions turn around, I can see this one turning around really quick. Another gaming play that I highly recommend, that's still also a very high risk play, but it's only at a 1 million market cap, so this is Engines of Fury. This is an absolute steal at its current price. Now, it's like almost a tenth of the ICO price. The ICO price was 20 cents on Fury. Right now it's at a little over 2.5 cents, so it's an extremely good buy. Those are the 10 coins that I've got in today's video that I think could potentially do really well this bull run if everything does well and the market turns around. I think at some point it will. It's just a matter of when, but if you look at the M2 money supply, it looks like things could potentially be turning around here really quickly over the course of the next few months, so let's hope that happens, but it may not happen until the end of 2025, so we'll see what happens here with the markets and how things play out. But I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you on the next video.